out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game. 5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vine, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a New River thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite.
Hey, it's the Finally Friday edition. I guess we'll call it our 4th of July edition, right? Yeah. Happy birthday, America. In the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. Professional Door Incorporated text line. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Good morning, Prometheus. What's up, brother? How's everybody doing? Call us up or hit us up. Can't call us up yet because I haven't figured out a way to afford that. But when that happens, we'll be able to take calls. Happy birthday, America. I still love that picture. Mr. Quinn sitting there with his flag after winning the gold medal. Just one of the best things. Encapsulate the competitive spirit of these United States of America, the greatest country. It's not even close in the history of this orb. Very proud to be from the United States, from America, and very fortunate, as we are, that we've been able to be here. So ignore the negative noise this weekend. You'll know who's putting it out there and what's being covered as to how anti-American things like the Access Media has become. The groups who do celebrate, you'll know that those are the people that still have the ideals of America in their best interests. It will be obvious. As a matter of fact, there won't be any attempt at transparency. At non-transparency, because they don't care anymore. It's all about agenda. It's all about their view and their hatred. So don't let that cloud your own celebration. 250 years is an amazing number for a nation that has thrived and that has controlled so much of what goes on in the world. No question. What's up, Pink Tag? Hit us up. Subscribe. By the way, I want to remind you here before we get started, Professional Door, we're in July, right? So they started their $40 off offer. And all you have to do is mention that you heard us talking about it here on the program. All right. Travis Williams and Professional Door. Your garage doors need preventative maintenance. Whether they installed them or not, they will come and make them better. 674-0008. If you mention you heard us talking about on BDST, you immediately get $40 taken off your bill. And you don't have to schedule it in July. You can call and get on the schedule. They can do it in August. They can do it in September. But please reach out, tell them you heard us talking about it, and help yourself out. I have neighbors here whose garage doors are messed up. So it's bad. What's up, Biscuits? How are you doing today? Phil Elmassian joins us at 7. Mike Ashley is back with the open mic, which is always great news. And Nate Wise will join us. Nate used to be our baseball guy. He's now working for the VSGA. He is the director of marketing for the Virginia State Golf Association. And I worked with Nate several years at Radford, and he'll join us at 7:45 today. And we'll talk about all those good things. Had a great time last night. Big Dog Pop. It was our longest show. And it was also, so far, it's been our most watched and now rewatched show as well. It's been awesome. That was great. It was great. Hey, Meow. Happy 10th anniversary. And her birthday? Really? Very cool. Well, I guess not. Well, happy birthday. Yeah, Coach Elmo was fired up last night. Yeah, he was, for me, he still had a lot of energy from the pavilion. Let's just say it that way. He never runs out of energy. My article comes out on him today in the Patriot. Just a synopsis of my appreciation of Coach Elmo joining the show and how it all happened. He just discovered it about 5 months ago, and what he has come to mean to the program and to everybody. And it was just my way of trying to pay a little bit of a tribute to him with my article. But make sure you hit up Professional Door and you take the $40. That's all you got to do is say you heard us talking about it. Most people have garage doors, and I know they don't work all the time or they don't stay working all the time, let Professional Door fix and get it done. They're the best. They're the best. And thanks for watching here from our Family Fencing Studios. Appreciate Jason Green, 540-282-94. And how great was it yesterday? You know, we're presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports Entertainment. I'm going to go up there next week. Jonathan Sweet was terrific, and we appreciate everything they do for the program. Couldn't do it without them, and you heard all the great progress they're making on everything. And congratulations to Pulaski County Sports Entertainment on their award. Much deserved. The River Heating and Air, they've been working overtime. I see their trucks all over the place. You know why? Because their units, people's air units are screwing up. Reach out to them. They'll make it as cost efficient as possible. 540-553-2971. The attorney Ryan Pry brings you your BDST fan question of the week. England is your pick to win the World Cup. 701 West Main Street in Radford. Trust and estate planning. I'm going to say go USA. Pulling for them. I'll watch them, man. Go. Go, 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 go. I hate that they had that terrible call against one of their better players, but the red card. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of BDST on YouTube, my exclusive banking partner. Thanks to Lara Ramsey. I had to refinance things. You had unexpected things happen. You're like, whoa, what am I going to do? Well, you go to National Bank, and in about 2 weeks, they took care of it. I mean, it was crazy how wonderful they are. And we've already talked about them, but why not? Sponsor of our text line, Professional Door, 391-0788. Family owned and operated, year number 40. Awesome. Congratulations. If you haven't checked out Ready Set Fund and you need to get uniforms for your high school, middle school, rec team, whatever it is, church group, reach out to Bob Chris, CRIST11 at Gmail, and read up on the Ready Set Fund. I know when I did, I was amazed. It's crazy. It's easy too. And they can help you. Sundown Electric, excellent reputation, long list of satisfied clients, the test of superior craftsmanship, attention to detail, honest and integrity driven. Reach out to the Smith brothers. They are the best. The NRV Super Bowl. We're having our bash the 18th. A lot of people were confirming last night during pop. And we're looking, I think we're going to have about 20, 30 people there. That would be my guess if Morris is around. Morris was with us late last night too. 540-382-5525 starting this weekend. I don't know. They got some crazy good stuff for the 4th of July. I know that. So you don't want to miss that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Mark Hunley, McClellan Chiropractic. I'm going over there next Wednesday. Best chiropractor in the biz, sponsor of our chat room. And we're going to get me going through some of the stuff. It's going to be funny, probably. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply. Give James a call, 540-381-8011, 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. Parts for your home, windows, plumbing, supplies for your door, whatever it might be. And please subscribe, all the new folks. Absolutely, we are from the States here. Southeastern part of the United States. We're in a great spot here in Southwest Virginia. Not only is it beautiful, great communities, but we have North Carolina, West Virginia pretty close. You can get to the beaches fairly easily. You can go up mountains fairly easily. You can get into Ohio. You think about it, we're in a pretty good travel spot. Pretty good travel spot. Thank you. Excellent. We will see you. Just got another text about the bash. Awesome. Yeah. Well, that's not going to be any warning. You're not going to issue any warning for the United States. Bring it. Bring it. That's what I say. I'm in celebratory mode. I'm looking forward to being out and seeing everybody celebrate the country the way it is. Go Broncos, indeed. You better believe it. Buana. Go Broncos. Woohoo. That's right. I got the old logo on today. This is the logo they lost 4 Super Bowls with. The Big Dog Pop was great. Last hour or so, we had Dwight join us, and Coach Elmo was on, Morris, Denny Van Pelt. Coach Mabry's awesome. I don't know who else we had. We were loaded to the bear last night, man. It was great. It was great. So I'm pleased with how that's going. And seeing some of the numbers today that I get, it was nice. Very nice. Very nice. But we'll catch up with Coach Elmo here in just a little bit. I think that a gentleman like him, he'll never he understands the impact he had, but he doesn't sit around and like think, wow, I was really impactful. He talked about it a little bit last night. And he's one of those coaches that, I heard his name and I read about it in the article back first run of the show with Coach Beamer. He would come on bi-weekly. Imagine that. The greatest football coach Virginia Tech will ever have, the man who made it all happen, would come on the show bi-weekly by his request, by his choice. Man, those were the days. But anyway, and the first time I heard Phil Elmassian's name was from Coach Beamer, and I didn't know really anything about Phil Elmassian. And he talked about how he was the pivotal change. The pivotal change. It was very interesting. Very interesting. But now we've gotten to know him and all the different stops. 18 stops we found out last night. Awesome. Agreed, Juana. It was a low-key move that's not getting enough credit, but you're able to get a guy like Waddle, and everybody was saying you gave up too much, and all this, gave up your first-round pick. Well, you're picking low anyway. You weren't going to get a player as impactful as Jalen Waddle. I agree with you. Well, Mims is important. I think they need to re-sign him. We're having Broncos talk here, me and Juana. I don't want to lose him because I think he's starting to develop as a capable target, and I think that could loosen him up a little more, having Waddle. So we'll see. I think it's ridiculous, Juice. I think it's the product of social media that young people are doing what they are to themselves, trying to look a certain way, be a certain way. I think it's ridiculous. I think anybody who injects anything into their body to try to look a certain way have lost their way instead of trying to earn it the old-fashioned way and make it count and make it stick. Everybody looking for an easy fix, people trying to change who they are. And it's encouraged. It's ridiculous. It's grooming. Grooming is what access media is doing. That's what the movie studios are doing. That's what social media is doing. It's grooming young people who don't know better. Yeah, I did too, Prometheus. That was cool. Coach Elmo was holding court about Coach Dooley, Coach Bill Dooley. Let me go get Boa real quick. But, yeah, that was – how about that? That was an immense amount of respect that he had, right? Let me go. So, yeah. How about that? That was cool to learn all that last night about Coach Dooley. I'm with you. So if you missed it last night, go back and watch. It was good discussions throughout. Really good discussions. What is your best bait for catfish and bass? Small fish, shad, something like that. Who would win with silverback gorilla? Oh, I like stuff like this. Or a polar bear maxed out on both sides. Ooh. I think I'm going with the polar bear. Yeah, I love the Bryant kid too, Buana. I do. Pat Bryant's getting better and better. He was low key. They took him out of Illinois, and he didn't run very fast. Oh boy, you know who else didn't run very fast? Now this is going to be somebody goes like, "You're comparing him to that guy." I'm like, no, I'm not comparing him. Goober, that's good stuff, man. I love stuff like that. Thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe. What's up, Slatinsky? Hello, please subscribe. But, and again, I'm not comparing him to Jerry Rice, but the knock on him was he was too slow. And, Bill Walsh said, no, we're taking him. Everybody shut up. And now you see what happened. Now, Bryant's going to be, I think, a very good fit with what Sean Payton likes to do, and he catches everything. Mims may go. You're right. Franklin's development, Mims may go. I could see it's going to be interesting. Oh, you agree, Goober? Yeah. Don't you think? Polar bear to win? Yeah. Because I've seen some of those nature videos. My dad used to always watch them, and he would absolutely, educate me on animals. And you would see those polar bears when they got fired up. When somebody threatened oh my Lord, those female polar bears. Woo! I mean, you talk about you better just get out of the whole region. Yeah, he can block. He wants to block. Pat Bryant. Do I like UFC? What's up, No Mercy? How are you? Yeah, I do. I was a boxer. I'm a boxing guy. I don't go out of my way to watch it. I respect the hell out of it. And I know it takes a lot of training and talent. I have an appreciation for it. I'm still a pugilist. Boxing's a mess. Unfortunately, it's been so corrupted by the promoters and by really by HBO and the networks. But I do I appreciate everything about UFC, 100%. It's not something I choose to watch a lot, but I do. What's up, Big Al? How are you? Good morning. Had a farmer tell me the river was so low that when he caught a carp, it had a tick on it. It is really depressing. Matter of fact, I couldn't get my yard mowed this week. It's starting to get, and I knew this heat was coming. We need steady rain for several days. I saw that on X about Verhoeven. I did see that. Yeah. You know what I'm noticing? And y'all let me know too. This is interesting. We have the World Cup here on our shores, which is fitting for the 4th of July. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, exactly. Officiating is terrible all across the world, isn't it? Right? All across the world. Like, we're talking about soccer, we're talking about international fans, and all I've seen is the same complaints we levy against American football officiating. No, he would not. Muhammad Ali is the greatest of all time. Muhammad Ali is my boxing hero. Yeah. No one. Mike Tyson even said, hey, just stop. It's all about Ali. But it's interesting to see the complaints about officiating in soccer from all the international fans, announcers, coaches. I'm like, this is us. This is us every Sunday, Monday. College football in the NFL, isn't it? It's terrible everywhere. And that official, by the way, I read up on it, that called the red flag against the states. It's going to put him shorthanded tomorrow. He's already been dinged for cheating. Why is he still officiating? This is another knock against soccer. Why do you put an official? This is like we were talking about the Texas Tech situation, right, with Sorsby. He's not going to get back in football because of his gambling. This guy was apparently proven that he was directly involved in changing matches around, yet he's back and he's in the World Cup. What are we doing? Is this you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings? I don't know the answer. I'm confused by that development. I really am. This world frightens and confuses me. I don't understand. I really don't. But anyway. Yeah, the best player. So now he's out. He had to sit out because of the red card. It wasn't an accident. And everybody is saying they believe that it was intentional. And I think it was too. And you got a very tough match coming up. A very tough match coming up against Belgium. That's Monday. I think I said tomorrow. It's Monday. On Monday. Does anyone even know what offsides is in soccer? It's not as easily identified as hockey. You know, it's about the blue line in hockey, right? But when I'm calling matches down at Radford University, sometimes it'll look like offside. Sometimes it won't. A lot of times it's let go. A lot of times it's called, and sometimes it's called late and the players are continuing and they don't hear the whistle, and, you know. But now we have the VAR review, more reviewing. So, yeah. Any event, it's been interesting seeing the complaints about the officiating. Yeah, I saw that. I hope so too. I hope people look at it and realize it was stupid. And then they were showing clips after that. Did you see that yesterday, Prometheus? On X, they were showing all these things that happened in games yesterday, and guys were just the things that deserved red cards, and then they kept putting it side by side against what was called against the U.S. player. And it's like, it clearly wasn't in any way, shape, or form a red card. He's trying to influence the outcome of the next match. And they just, you know, this is why international soccer, if you take the time to keep up and watch and read about it, this is why it's under scrutiny, because of things like that happening all the time. Right? All the time. So I'm with you. So we had this this morning when I'm out, and I saw Creed kind of acting funny, and he kept looking at something on the driveway, and it was still kind of dark this morning. Well, there's like a medium-sized bullfrog out here in our parking area. And he may have wandered from one of the farmers' ponds, you know, and I started thinking it's got to be because of the drought, right? I bet where he was dried up. Made me sad, and he's looking for a new body of water. And Creed wasn't really, he was more curious. He wasn't messing with him. You know, he was just kind of smelling him and so forth. Got in behind him, and then the bullfrog leaped away, and he jumped back. It kind of startled him. It was pretty funny. But in any event, that's my bullfrog story here this morning. But yeah, I hope the appeal works, man. They need to get that completely reversed. There's far too much allowance of stuff like that. It seems like, especially internationally. You know, here we're going to raise, holy hell, right? Here we don't put up with that stuff. We're going to complain about it, if nothing else. Exactly, Buana. Yeah, why do they have these issues in sports? F1 has officially, they change racing results. Makes the NFLPA and the unions in sports. It does. It makes us look like we do things right. It is. International sports are always you always look at it and you wonder. Things change. They don't like the way things end. They find a way to change it. And that's what happened against us and this same official. But it has kind of marred a little bit. The officiating seems to have kind of marred this thing a little bit, to be honest with you. And you hate that. You don't like that at all. But we'll keep pulling for them, and we'll be pulling for them on Monday. Hope everybody has terrific fourth plans. Not going to do too much. Going to keep it kind of low key here. It's very hot here. Obviously, it's going to be 96 today. It's been that way. It's going to be that way through the weekend. start to cool off a little bit into the 80s next week. But here we are in July, football season, American football season. We'll be kicking in August. And I'm looking forward to the start of that. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Yeah, that, and I said it at the time, and we never got an explanation. The call that went against Tech, and I'm 100% convinced in that Miami game, was intentional to keep Miami where they were in the ranking. I'm sorry. They have replay. Let me let him back out. I'm sorry. He's that guy. Hang on. You gonna do that? Will you let Treat in on your way out? You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Come on, buddy. Come on. Okay. But yeah, I believe that was completely and utterly just don't let him follow you. That was completely and utterly an attempt by the ACC. Horrible explanation. They had replay. And they didn't have enough evidence. It was called a touchdown. And when we see so much other stuff, especially in college football, when we see so much other stuff that they say was inconclusive and they can't change it, that was at the very least Prometheus, regardless of the call, was inconclusive. And then they overturn it. And that was all to help Miami and Cam Ward. You will not convince me otherwise. You will not. You will not. And we never got any explanation. I think that's when I lost the final bit of any kind of hope I had Jim Phillips was going to be able to make the ACC into something, the way he defended the officials. That's when I lost my whole, all right, this guy needs to go. Hey, Jim Phillips is not a good commissioner. Sorry, it's just not. Wanda says, I'm not a fan of having these kids getting paid, either make them school employees, representatives. That's going to happen, and I think eventually we'll see. There's never going to be there's not going to be a collegiate collective bargaining agreement or players union because, that's not going to happen because the CBA limits their capabilities. But Buana, I'm of the belief now that it's not ever going to be fixed. I don't believe there's anyone with, all the government interaction. They're trying to put these things implemented. They won't go through. And if the government can't change it, there's not going to be anybody other than the Big Ten, the SEC, who can start making its own change in the industry. If the two biggest peers of everybody else starts changing it, maybe something happens. So, it makes your head explode when you sit back and you look at it. All we hear about now is constant money. Every hire Tech is making is about money. And I don't know in the long run if it's going to help. I don't know how much these TV deals. I mean, the next TV deal is going to be huge. The biggest we've ever seen. But if the cost of doing business continues to rise and these rosters in college sports continue at these just stupid amounts, I don't know if you're ever going to be able to say that you're in a good spot financially. Even maybe right now, because of what they've built up, the Ohio States and the Notre Dames and the programs like that, Michigan and some of these programs in the SEC have a pretty good reservoir of money. I don't know. I'll ask Coach Elmo that question, see what he thinks. And look, I think it's great. Tech's got fundraisers and they already have money coming in. That means they're going to be constantly asking for more and more and more. I think corporate sponsorships are going to be a big part of what Tech's doing going forward. You can't keep counting on your alumni and your donors. I mean, how much do you have in your pocket to spare? So I think maybe from a corporate perspective, you're going to see naming rights on things. Although we learned about the stadium naming rights, and you can't put anything on Lane Stadium the way the contract's written. Worsham Field, Lane Stadium, Castle Coliseum. Is there some kind of way to amend that? I don't know. But even then, I don't know how much money you're looking at. How long is it going to last with everything continuing to escalate? I mean, there are people every day on X that know stuff about college football and the environment, Big Ten guy, saying, look, Rick, rosters on the average are going to be, at this rate, $60 million is going to be what everybody's going to be spending. Everybody in power football. Just on its players. How can anyone look at that and think that this is what it was supposed to look like? There's already teams going to be at that threshold. Big Ten guys, institutions, one of them. It blows my mind that we're at this point. I had no problem with NIL the way it was structured. This is not NIL. They keep that legal term in there, but it's not. This is not remotely what NIL in the O'Bannon case was about. This was about EA Sports, imaging. This was about jersey sales. This was about being able, as an athlete, to go out and say, I'm coming here and I'm here in this community. Let me go, me and my agent, if I have an agent, let's go out and make some money through a business. If you want to use me as a spokesperson, let's go. That's NIL. Yeah, coaching buyouts. Why are they given? Why does Alabama give Kalen DeBoer $91 million out of the blue? When he had, 3 more years on his original deal? Just think how the draft changes, Moana says. Stay in school and get paid versus being a third. Yes, that's happening now. Of course, now they got the 5-year rule. It's already been challenged. There's already litigation from players who would have it taken away that would have qualified. We don't want any more 23, 24, 25-year-olds in college football. But a lot of these guys are, especially guys who know. I think Sorsby was one. He didn't know what his NFL future was going to be. Throw out the gambling stuff. We know he has no future now. Throw out the gambling stuff. He was getting $6 million from Texas Tech. Baycott at North Carolina from the basketball side openly talked about it. He didn't get drafted. He's not in the NBA. And he knew that final year at Carolina, he was going to make, I think he was making like $3 million. And he realized that he could stay in school, make that kind of money. He wasn't going to make that in the G League. Golden parachutes for the state's highest paid employees. I like that. That's a good term, Buana. Buana, I hope you come around all the time. You're good, man. Jumping in here the first time with some good points. Yeah, it did. That whole extra year crap, was it just guilt? I don't know. And the way I always look at it for me, this is the reaction. What was implemented about COVID is what changed everything. if it hadn't been completely and utterly spun as something that it wasn't and overreacted, and we just handled this as something, okay, well, we need to look at this. Let's see how preventative we can be. It would have been like anything else, and we could have done it and kept going with our normal lives. And now we know the truth. Don't get me started on that, because then it becomes a political thing. But with Fauci, we know all that was just complete crap. We know the origins of this. So, yeah, it was intentional, trying to destroy the society, and it did. They accomplished what they wanted. It was a great experiment. The great experiment succeeded, and it's very, very sad that I still see people 5 and 6 years later driving around in cars by themselves wearing a mask. Oh, you worked with SI. No, you're good, Buona. Your stuff's good. Your stuff's good. And I'm sorry you got sick. I hope you're okay now. But imagine Virginia Tech, folks. All right. And I think James Franklin knows this. And I don't know, the roster's 30 to 40 mil probably going to be coming up. He probably is already talking to his new AD and the guys from FAU saying, this isn't enough. Like, what are we going to do? And I think most of the revenue, when you hear about raising revenue, it's about paying players. Like, I don't think anything else is outrageously inflated. But what is the roster construction costs. And how this has happened and how these players have gained so much leverage over the institutions and the programs. I have no answer as to how we've gotten here. Right? I have no answer to how we've gotten to this point. How do 18, 19-year-old kids, 20-year-old kids, how has none of this been challenged? Big Al says, read an article that said current college payments to athletes is $3.5 billion, projected to be $5.2 billion by 2030. I bet you it ends up being a lot higher than that, Al, if we don't get some kind of control, some kind of system in place. I don't see a system happening. I've got no hope at all. Look, I know we're Radford and we're a lower mid-major, but we are a Division I program, and we have meetings and we sit in on conference calls. There is nobody who sees anything coming down the pike that's going to fix any of this. So I think when you see Tech constantly talking about this, it's for two reasons. One, it's legitimate that they feel like they don't have the money when they know. I mean, James Franklin just left a blue blood. He knows what kind of money they have and what it takes. He's at Vanderbilt. Even though he was at Vanderbilt, he was still in the SEC, and that was on the cusp of them becoming what they became in football. So he knows what it's going to evolve into. And I think the best thing about Franklin being here so far is that he has woken people up to the reality of what it takes around Blacksburg to be a viable program. Would you agree with that? Don't you think that's been, if nothing else, let me show you what's going on. Let me walk you around these facilities and show you how unacceptable they are. What the hell are we doing? He said that at the Chamber of Commerce. He said that in front of the people. He goes, I looked around. He had his arms out like this. He said, what in the hell is going on around here? This is Virginia Tech, right? So that's been, I think, the best part of him being here is that awareness, and all the people who didn't have the awareness are out. That should have had the awareness. You give kids like Chaz Coleman $3 million, and then he quits, or Sorsby. Yeah, that's why none of it should be guaranteed. At the very least, don't you think that could happen? Right? Shouldn't you be able to say, here's your contract. Here are the stipulations. Read them. You got an agent? Show it to them. You got your parents? You got a handler? You want to be paid like this? It's got to be an employee type of agreement. You've got to contribute. You're not just going to walk away. You get caught for gambling, your entire contract is voided. How about that? If you want to make a big push on fighting back, and don't get me started on the lack of, why is there such a lack of action on gambling? Right? Why is there such a lack of action? When I got to a few facilities at schools, they were crazy, even low budget. Yeah. You got to walk around Clemson. Unbelievable. Everything. Well, you name a sport. But why isn't that part of these deals? By the way, read section 6. Should be section 1. If in any way, shape, or form that you are caught, however you want to word it, legal, mumbo jumbo, Richie Davis, he could do it a lot better than I could. Brian Pry, the attorneys. If you're caught, if you're in an investigation, if you are betting on games, your money is gone. If you want to try to stop this, why wasn't that in Brendan Sorsby? First of all, why didn't they just check his background? But why not put that in there? Wouldn't that be something now? As we know, and we get the reports, this is so rampant, folks. You have an idea. You're a smart audience. Even casual bets are happening far too often. Morris, what's going on? You were great last night. From 1776, where our country was conceived, 250 years later, it's the best experiment that one country has ever achieved. Take pride in the U.S. of A. and pray it's here to stay. BDST is on. Yes. Absolutely. 100%. Not going to let any of the naysayers get to me tomorrow. To hell with them. It's about celebrating this country. You realize you have the opportunity to complain and to protest. You have that freedom because of where you are, right? Do you not understand that? No, you don't understand that because you're stupid. Australia versus Egypt. Who do you think is going to win the World Cup? England was the choice here, Clip Beast, by our peeps. Never seen a player banned by the NFL. Paul Hornig, the great running back from the Packers in the 60s, was banned. He was investigated, I want to say, for a whole year. I'd have to look up the story. But you're right. Modern times, I don't think we hear about it very much, which I don't understand. It's a good point. But I don't understand why it's not written in the contracts. Because it's an epidemic in college athletics, folks, with these young people. Younger people. I mean, you heard Todd didn't talk about it a whole lot because he can't, but he mentioned what they try to do to be preemptive on it. But trust me, every school across the country has made it an interior priority. Virginia Tech's doing it. Right? Merle Haggard, if you don't like it, leave it. Running down our country. You're walking on the fighting side of me. Yeah, I'm not going to tolerate it, especially this weekend. Yep. Booze, you lose. There you go. That's like American fans in football. My home country, Norway. I don't even need to watch. I'm going to get wasted and probably get frustrated and throw a puzzle into the woods. Look, nothing makes me angrier than watching the Broncos. I'm with you. Coach Elmo, Mike Ashley, open mic, and then Nate Wise today on the program. Jen is traveling. Now, she did reach out yesterday. She's trying her best to be at the Bash on the 18th. I hope that happens. That'd be great. So it'd be great to have her out. And I know Coach Elmo's coming. I'm going to reach out to Burn Up again, try to get him out there. It was. And the info that I get, people are rewatching. That thing got Pop last night, had a good night. Yeah, Pop had a good night last night. We were on for 3 hours, and since we ended last night, we've had over 300 rewatches of that. So that's pretty cool. I know, and that's the way it is, Buana, really, in the NFL, right? Because it's the way it's constructed with parity and everything. Every game seems to be a fourth quarter game. And with the Broncos, there's no question. You just have to sit there and just – and we got robbed of a Super Bowl appearance with the injury to Bo. We'd have beat the Patriots. Hell, they almost did with Jarrett Stidham. 10-7 in the snow. Jarrett Stidham, ladies and gentlemen. But the NFL rules because of that. It does. It does. It does. I wonder if Coach Elmo is going to – I'm not even going to question whether or not he's going to wake up. He'll be here. He showed up last night. Dwight was great. Dwight sent a message on the Dwight sent up a message last night. Said, "Hey, I was going to be on, but my wife wants to go to dinner." I said, "Well, that's an easy answer, man. Go to dinner, eat well. We'll see you next week." Nope. He decided to eat and then come on, and he was great. The bots are kicking this morning, too. I don't know what that means. I look like the Costco guy. I've never stepped foot into a Costco. I never have. Yeah, the bots are plentiful here on this pre-July 4th. Yeah, I think it's a good defense. Losing Jonathan Cooper. What do you think, Buana? I don't think he's going to be a Bronco ever again. I think this is going to be bad. Broncos defense is very, very good. It is. We have Vance Joseph has turned out to be a guy who wasn't a good head coach. That's what Tech's hoping. Yeah, I'm deleting them as we go, Buana. I'm deleting them as we go. We never delete this gentleman joining us now on the program. He is Coach Elmassian. Coach, did we just spend the night together? We wake up together. Uh-oh. We're going to start talking.
I feel like I'm at your house.
Thanks for jumping on last night, man. That was fun. Wasn't that fun last night?
I'll tell you what. Janet, this morning, she goes, "You were on till 11 o'clock last night." I said, "No, we weren't."
No, we weren't. No.
God almighty. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. That was fun. It was we were on for over 3 hours, but that's fine. That's what we don't really have a time frame as if the conversation's going great, and that's what it was doing last night. So it was good. It was good.
Well, hey, I hope your Janet's okay with that. Jeez.
Yeah, she fell asleep and she was like, "Are you just now getting done?" She kind of woke up and went, "Yeah, it was a great show."
Yeah.
She,
Well, you know
she
what?
goes,
Like everything else, you can blame it on me. I'll take the hit for you.
I may have done that, by the way. She's going to come, by the way.
Hey,
She's coming.
wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah. She's coming to the bash, by the way. She's coming to the bash.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good deal. Look forward to it.
So today, Coach, my article comes out about you, and it's not necessarily, I don't have like this in-depth thing, but it's just like I wanted to show an appreciation for having gotten to know you in the short time that I have, and I kind of briefly mentioned how you stumbled across the show and you reached out and let's do it, and now what it has turned into. And I don't know if I never take the time to thank you enough, but man, you've made such an impact on the show and on me and on our listeners. I mean, they just eat up, and we just sit here and go to school every day, go to class every day, man, when you start talking about the realities of college football and coaching and players, and it's been awesome, man. It's been awesome.
You have some first class people on. I mean, just between the NBA and the NFL and the Todd Grantham and all the people you have on, I enjoy listening to because I get to learn things, and and it's a positive. It's a positive spin in a negative sports world.
That's a great point. That's a good way to say it. Yeah.
To a point, there's so much good from sports, obviously, but it is the money wise, especially collegiate sports. It's as popular as it's ever been. Just look at the crowds that Virginia Tech attracts, and they've only had 4 winning seasons in the last so many 10 years.
Right.
Like Dwight was saying.
Dwight was talking. Yeah.
It's the most popular of all of the sports in its history. When I was there, we were winning. We were winning. You'd have the most, maybe 40,000 average, 45 average in a 55,000 seat stadium. So it's the good news. The bad news is, it's going to cost you to maintain. It's all about maintaining potentially what you have in your programs, and you look at it's funny, you were talking about the finances. Well, you look at what Tech has now with their facilities. The indoor facility, football indoor facility is phenomenal. But back in the 70s, early 70s, Virginia Tech had one of the first indoor facilities in the country. That I can't remember what they called it at that time, up by the old practice fields in like 19, and it was built. I think Michigan had one, but there were a handful of programs that had an indoor facility, and Virginia Tech was one of them. And Virginia Tech was always going to have one more seat than UVA. If UVA expanded to 55, they're going to have 56.
Yeah.
They were always going to have a larger seated stadium, always. And but now you look at today, Rick, with the Merriman Center, which was just completed when I was there in the late 80s. It's there's not enough room for the people.
Right.
There's not.
No.
I think. No. And correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I've been in that facility. Obviously, the one floor is, they got the weight room down there, and they've expanded that. Then the one floor is, football. But I do think the administration, the third floor is administratively. I think the AD's office is over in Merriman on the third floor, so he's housing. It's this, and now you take football alone, just football alone. You got your GM and his staff. Now I don't know what that number is, but all those guys he brought from Penn State, they're all quote administrators.
Yeah, they're all sardines. Yeah. Yeah, right.
And because you got your GM, which now is going to branch off into, in NFL terms, the scouting department, which branches off into draft and free agency, which is portal and high school for college. So you have to, I don't know how many that number is.
Yeah.
But, you're paying these guys. Are they full-time guys that get all the benefits of health insurance and retirement and things of that nature? You end up, you have that number of people, along with the assistant coaches and now the analysts. I don't even know where that falls because those guys, from what I heard, maybe someone can correct me, Todd probably better than anybody, they can go recruiting. They can go on the road. They can coach. There's no such thing as GAs anymore, graduate assistants, and you only were allowed 2 on defense and 2 on offense. One time it was just 2 of them, 1 offense, 1 defense. So you talk about increase in staff volume. They said at Alabama with Coach Saban, the staff room, it's like they had to have like stadium seating, 3 rows of, because and they said I've heard this, and this like 25 people in there in a staff meeting.
I know.
Where we only used to have, the not full-time guys, 2 GAs, and maybe the trainer, maybe. But so he's when he says the Merriman's, the facilities aren't good enough, they're not efficient enough.
Correct.
To house all those people and their responsibilities and where they can do their job efficiently.
Which he's right about. Yeah.
More computers, more, cubicles, spaces, or whatever that these guys can do their job, because the portal evaluations are ongoing. They're yearly. I mean, right now, everyone's give me the list of all the first team MAC, Sun Power 5, all conference guys, first and second team, and I'm looking at them right now for the following year. Those are the guys. And that's not just the Power 5. That's everybody. Division 3. Give me the all conference guys in the ODAC. I'm going to look at them. So, they're 24/7, 365 days, or how many minus maybe some vacation time.
Right.
They're watching players every day. So, I think it's more of, not that Tech's facilities they're good enough. They are good enough, but they're not efficient enough to house all the people that you need in a football program today. If you don't, they were so far behind in their recruiting with the finances and then the numbers of people that you have to have today. You have to have an NFL administrative staff to survive today. You have to stay up, to turn those rocks over, find the players that you can win a conference championship. It all starts with, before you can go into the national championship, you better win the conference.
That's right. That's right.
You can't talk national champion till you win the conference, or at least when it was split up in divisions. That you start with the division. Your goals. Let's win all our home games. Well, okay, that's a good goal. All right. Let's win the red letter game. We call it the red letter games, UVA. Back in the day when it was West Virginia and UVA is the red letter games of rivalry games. Let's win those games. Let's win the division in the conference, because then if we do that, we get to the championship game, and that gives us a chance to win the championship. And then you get to go to when I'm at Wisconsin, we can win the Big Ten. Hey, we're in the BCS Bowl. We ended up 4th or 5th in the country. One of those 2 bowl teams. Well, okay, we're we're a win away or two, one or two wins away from being number 2 or number 1 at that time. So, and they've got the facilities, but what they don't have is the efficiency in the facilities because the manpower has quadrupled in their administrative part of the football program. And that's cost you money. Like I said, do they get the benefits? The analysts right now, you can make $60,000 to $100,000, $150,000 as an analyst,
just being
a
an analyst,
part-time guy.
Yep.
That's
crazy.
Most I ever made was $160. The most.
That's crazy.
That was
Isn't
the
that
most.
Crazy? Wow.
At Nebraska,
Wow.
the most, and probably had more 50,000 a year jobs than I had. I think I only hit that one. I hit that one time, 2 times maybe in my career. That was it.
Well, it's crazy, the cost of doing it. Hey, we got people asking you coaching questions. You ready?
Let's roll.
Your first one, you're going to jump all over. I know that because you were one of the best defensive back coaches in the country. He said, how do you suggest to players and fans even to learn coverages faster? Like, for instance, a cover 3. How do you go about teaching guys how to be instantly, recognizing what's going on and what you need to get into?
It's hard. The TV doesn't do it justice because you're not able to really see it until you see the replay. But, like Coach Saban said, when it's all said and done, it's not necessarily about coverages. It's concepts. And you can only divide that field up into so many parts. Okay. You can take the football field, the width of the football field, and divide it into thirds. Okay. Hash marks to sidelines and hash mark to hash mark and hash mark to sideline. So you got thirds. So, and basically the middle of the field, you have middle of the field safety concepts, or people call it one high. Where you take the field, we're going to divide it into thirds. Now that middle of field concept could be pure zone. And if I'm in a 4-man rush, there's 11 guys, so you got a 4-man rush. So there's 7 that, and then you can take your zone people and spot drop them, go into spots, numbers, hash, middle of the goalpost, hash, and particularly with a college game differentiates where the hash marks are so much wider than the pro game that you literally have more of a bigger field when the ball is on the hash, when it's, quote, outside the goalpost. When that ball's outside the goalpost, that's a hash mark deal. You'll see when the offensive tackle lines up to the boundary and he's on the hash, then offensive guys have calls for hash marks and defensive guys have calls for hash marks to the field and to the boundary. When that ball's in the middle of the goalpost, now you've got, larger fields to both sides to attack and to defend. And so what happens is, so you got middle of the field concepts, taking it, dividing into thirds. You can play, but you can also play man coverage with a middle of the field safety, which a lot of people like to do today. More people are going back to middle of the field concepts because of what's called the RPOs, the run pass option deals, to cover down on the receivers and still, be able to defend the run. Then you got split safety concepts. Okay, splits, you can take the football field, divide it into halves. So you got 2 deep, cover two half safeties with zone underneath. You could have two deep safeties with man underneath. You could have 2 deep safeties, then take the halves and divide it into quarters. So that still gives you what's called split safety concepts. You got middle of the field concepts with 1 high safety. That could be a variance of zone man or zone underneath. You could have split safety concepts, which is cover 2, okay, either zone or man underneath. Or you could take the field and take the halves and divide it into quarters. So then you got quarters, which basically the corner, the 2 safeties and the 2 corners have the quarters of the field. 4 guys to cover four areas. Could be a man match concept, could be pure quarter zone concept. If the receiver comes into my quarters, I'm matched up man, on a vertical, which handles what's called the 4 verticals, the passing concepts. So that's, you can't crap another concept. You either got thirds, halves, or quarters. That's your zones. Okay. That's all. And then the combinations of quarter, half. That's another combination you can have. You can have a half the field defend with the quarters defend. So those are your concepts. And the offense, they have passing concepts versus they got cover 2 beaters. They got middle of the field beaters. They got quarter beaters. They've got half beaters. They've got these high, low, or vertical, horizontal stretches that can win in the concepts you're playing. The toughest thing for a quarterback, and every offensive coordinator has told me this, which you'll see, and Coach Saban was, because of his NFL experiences, Belichick was the same way as like Todd was saying with Peyton Manning, let alone the odd front with the protections, was line up in split safeties with the corners pressed up on your receivers. And then when that ball snapped, you could go from split safety concepts to a middle of the field concept by dropping a safety or spinning the safety to the, any which way you want to spin the thing. And it doesn't matter if you're in nickel, you're in dime, you're in your regular personnel. You're just changing the people, but the concepts remain the same. I don't know if I've been able to explain myself.
No, you did.
That's basic. That's Pat's defense. When it's hard on TV because it's hard to see.
Right, you don't see the whole. Yeah, exactly.
You won't see the whole thing, but that's what you want to look for. Either you got middle closed or middle open. In other words, you either got middle of the field concepts or you got split safety concepts. Okay, and in the NFL, if they see split safeties, they're going to run the ball. If they see middle of the field safeties, they're going to throw the ball in terms of the first, second down scenario. It's a numbers game, Rick. You got one receiver, I need 2 defenders. Because if you got one-on-one, then you better have the right cat out there. Okay? And same thing with blockers. I got 2 blockers, I need 3 defenders for the unblocked guy. That's when it's called 11 on 10. Now, when the quarterback starts running the football on the design runs, that's called 11 on 11, and that's why I'm sitting here talking to you. When I became a coach, thank you for the accolade of the best DB coach in the country. But let me tell you, when that spread offense quarterback run game came in, Bud got away with playing the bear against Ohio State. He played the bear, which was cover the center, cover the 2 guards, got in that Buddy Ryan 40, which we played when I was there. I put it in at Virginia Tech. And he got away. They played 0 coverage, which meant the corners had no help whatsoever. And they put the safety. It was 11 on 11, and with not covered, 0 blitz coverage, which meant, but without blitz. And maybe sometimes I'm sure he did blitz. And for 4 quarters, Urban Meyer's talked about it on his podcast. For 4 quarters, they had a young quarterback, and it was game over.
Yep.
But now, all of a sudden, Bud gets something that's saying, oh, okay, just like we did back in the day. He went, oh, okay, we made the offense defend itself. Then next thing you know, East Carolina's beaten them 2 years in a row. Because now when that quarterback comes out on the perimeter and that safety misses that tackle, he's hitting his head on the goal pole.
Yep. Changes everything. You're right.
And so it caught up with Bud because the offense, they're going to figure it out after a while.
Yep.
Give them time. They'll figure it out. And it caught up with Bud when it was all said and done.
Hey, the other question we asked Coach Grantham it was about heavy tight end sets, and which did you dread to see more? Which would you dread to see now, the spread or these heavy tight end sets? 12, 13 personnel. Todd took us to school the other day. What do you think? What's your take on
it? No question about it. It all goes back. Tom Coughlin when he took that Boston College job, I was coaching at Syracuse. When he took that Boston College job, he had three. He utilized the tight ends, and a couple of them played in the NFL. And next thing you know, they're like a 3-win team his first year at BC, and he goes plays Penn State, and put the 3 tight ends, had the tight end on the line, and then had the wing tight end with the other tight end right beside him. It was like a nutcracker type formation. But bottom line, there were 3 tight ends into the boundary. And Penn State's playing what we call field defenses. And this is when the hash marks were even wider back in the 90s before they moved them in a little bit. And they put 42 points on Penn State. They ran that sweep. There were too many. They didn't have enough bodies to cover all the gaps that were created. And we call it, as Todd referred to it, as a broad blocking surface. And next thing you know, they basically outflanked them, when it was all said and done, and ran that sweep into the boundary. And when I was at Syracuse, that's where we went to the 8-man front. We had to go true 8-man front and get bodies in those gaps. And we beat them. We beat them 2 years in a row. And the first year we beat them at our place. And the second year we beat them there. But they were a big pain in the tail. And then he ended up having the great year by the time 94 came around. 95, he had Glenn Foley, a quarterback. He matured enough into a pro prospect, and he had a great year. But it was a physical pain in the ass. And so, yeah, that to me, it's a coaching nightmare. When you have a tight end, I've always said it's the X factor. And plus, in college, the problem was, you see, when Rich Rodriguez goes to Michigan and literally destroyed the program because they're not recruiting the tight ends anymore. They're getting all the wideouts, these Nat 5, 7, 10, 9 receivers.
For the spread.
You never put a premium on the offensive line. Usually you're in the spread for a reason. Like Joe Tiller, he knew at Purdue he couldn't beat Michigan and Ohio State with the offensive line. He loved Iowa. He loved Wisconsin. He wanted to do what Barry did at Wisconsin, but he couldn't do it. He was an old offensive line coach. He hated the spread. He told me that because I can't stand this offense. He wanted to line up and smash people. That's a fact. But
that's
they win when they get Drew Brees in 2001 or 2, whatever. They win the Big Ten and go to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
They go to the Rose Bowl, and Drew Brees is, next thing you know, I've been in those battles. It was unbelievable. He changed Big Ten football, because he was at Wyoming with it and did it in the Big Ten. And not that it was true spread throw the football, not spread run the ball. And so it affects your recruiting, is my point being is you can't recruit enough tight ends. Warren Sapp was a tight end his redshirt freshman year. You can't get enough of those guys. They can do so many. They can go to so many different places for you. J.C. Price, I think, was a linebacker tight end. We had more tight end type kids play in our defensive front in 93, 94. That in high school, they never played the position that they played in high school. They didn't. We moved them around to create speed. Most of your tight ends could be 4'7", some of them 4'6". I had a kid at Boston College, great story of recruiting. And when Dan Henning was the head coach, we had a pro offense, which means we're going to recruit tight ends. And you can't, big backs and tight ends, you can't have enough of them in your program because they can go a lot of places.
Yeah, 100%.
I had a kid at Boston College named Stalin Collinet. And he was a tight end from New York, Dominican Republic kid. And he was a tight end. And they moved him to defensive end. He ran 4'8", 4'7", 5', 4'8", 6'6", 250 pounds. So I get to BC. Jim Reed called me up and said, Phil, Dan doesn't like the kid. He thinks he loafs. He thinks he doesn't give great effort. He's a great kid. Okay, he's going into a senior year. He goes, you hang with this kid. He's a great kid. You're going to love this kid. Because he was the D coordinator the year before. So I called him in the office. I watched him on film. Now, I never confused lack of effort with lack of speed. I'm used to Cornell Brown and Hank Coleman, guys who could run. 4'6" kids. I said, Colin, I said, Stalin, I said, you don't lack effort. You lack the speed to get the corner and the edge turned.
Big difference. Yeah.
Huge. He's 6'6". He got great, he had length. He wasn't very strong. Boston, that's another story, but the strength program was horrendous. And that wasn't the kid's fault or the coach's fault. It's just the setup of getting there in the summer because of the expense. Okay. And I said, you need to stay here in the summer. I said, this is prior to spring. I said, I want to move you inside. If I tell the pro scouts you're 6'6", 250 defensive end, they're going to want to know what number you have. They're going to scout you. You're a senior, and you're at Boston College. So they're going to come in, and you will be scouted. And you run 4'8". If I tell them you're 6'6", 275, and run 4'8", but you're an inside player, a 3 technique, they're going to want to know your name. And there's a big difference between knowing your number and your name. And so put on 25 pounds, stay, because he could. Stay here in the summer, live in the weight room, put 25 on, eat anything you want to eat, don't care. I said, come in great shape. I'm going to put you inside. Okay? Now, this kid's going into his senior year. He's not even all conference. He's not. He's starting for Boston College. That's all he's doing. We're playing Michigan. We lose them 21. We have a bad football team, too, by the way. This is a gambling team that fractured this team.
Right.
We're playing Michigan in the big house. He beats the ever-living crap out of their garden. I mean, beats his ass. Okay? Next thing you know, I got a line of pro scouts out the door. Who's this? He was a 4th-round draft choice. Started for the Minnesota Vikings on their Super Bowl team. Just on the one move. He was all Big East. So you can't get enough tight ends in the recruiting process. Can't get enough. And they create nightmares for the defensive coordinator, like your Kittles, your Kelseys. When you look at the great teams in college, they're going to have tight ends that can affect the game.
Coach, I got to show you something here that Coach Mabry sent me. You ready?
Oh, Jesus.
Look at that. Who's that guy?
Jesus. Look at the hair. See what 40 years of coaching. Look at me now and look at me then.
Look at that body. Look how streamlined. Look at that neck. Good Lord, man. You were a stump. Jeez.
1979. My first year coaching the fair in the old trophy room.
That's the old trophy room. How about this one here? Look at this one.
Oh, gee. Oh, now there's a story in every one of the gentleman on the left, my left, is John Cernhelt. John Cernhelt played for Jerry Claiborne on the great Maryland teams, that went to the Cotton Bowl. He played with Randy White and those guys. And ended up coaching, had a great coaching career. He ended up coaching in the NFL for years and then retired. He was then ended up scouting and then he's living at Fairham. Of course, you got Coach Norton, Joe Hart, the president of the university, myself, and then the gentleman on the right. That's my guy. That's the head of the economics department. He was my D-line coach. Dr. Bruce Maddox.
Got one more. There you go.
Wow.
Look at that.
That player, that was Rusty Hamilton, our free safety. Yeah, he was our free safety. He was a heck of a player. Before the game, we do bull in a ring before the game, and he knocked himself out. Like starting free safety, knocked out under the bench on a pregame warm-up. We got him some smelling salts. He was okay. He started.
You look a little like Tommy Lee Jones there from The Fugitive a little bit there, right? Don't you think? You kind of.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I was the fugitive. Trust me.
Thanks, Coach Mabry. We wanted to share those with you this morning, man. That's great.
That's almost scary after looking at those pictures.
No, it was awesome. That was awesome.
Best 4 years of my life right there, buddy.
Yeah, I know. Well, Coach, can't thank you enough again for jumping on today and last night, man. It was great. Just people were it's just awesome to hear you. And I'll send you a copy of the article today. And I hope, again, it wasn't a whole lot, but just me letting you know how much I appreciate you and value having you on, man, and getting to know you.
Well,
and
it's an honor to be on the show. I truly mean it. I'm flattered and honored to do this. It's, get to share, help people if they want to know about. I think I still got to. I'm not like Todd is one of your best resources as far as the college football today and how and the who's and the whens and the whys.
Yeah, he does.
But I still have a perspective because of where we were back in the day and some of the things that in this game, I don't care. The money you can't buy and you never will buy it. Money's not going to buy you respect. You can't buy it. You got to earn it. Money's not going to buy you a heart unless you need a transplant at an older age. But when you're 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, it's not going to buy the heart. It's not. Yep. You got the values that football still. Hey, let me let you go. But I watched soccer for the first time in my life.
Hey,
I watched that USA game. Now, I'm sure some of these are legitimate because I don't know where their paddings are or whatever. You talk about flopping. You thought some of these guys got shot.
It's embarrassing. I know.
They got the trainers and the doctors running out and they're grabbing their head and they're screaming and yelling. I'm going, what the hell?
It's all calculated. Yep. I know.
I mean, what the hell is going on with this sport?
I don't know.
The acting is. I was shocked. They're good at it.
I know they are. They know.
The NBA is taking their cue from soccer.
I'm the same way. It takes away so much. You better believe they are.
How about the guy? He steps on his foot. He steps on his foot and they throw his ass out of the match for the next game just because he stepped on his foot.
I know.
Oh, that's not going to happen in soccer.
He's been investigated again. That guy was already gotten in trouble once for fixing games. Yeah, I know.
Did he really? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and they put him back in there. He's in the World Cup. How? It's like putting Sorsby back on the field. What are we doing?
You know what happened to the world? You know what the worst thing that happened to the World Cup? It came to the United States, and they're going to get exposed. Came to the United States. This country, that shit ain't going to stand, baby. You know that. Not in this country.
Not in this country. Yeah.
All right, buddy. Hey, you have a great weekend. Have a great Fourth. Thank you. And those guys.
You too, man. Have a great Fourth. All right, that was great. You were too, man. You were too. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you, man. Yeah. Great stuff. Coach Elmo here on the program. Good morning, Chris Lester. How you doing, brother? Yeah, they need to give out Academy Awards. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. And it just brings out everything that's wrong. It's why it's one of the big reasons I can't take it seriously, to be honest with you. Jeff, your daughter play. Mike Ashley's going to join us, and then Nate Wise coming up, by the way. You said your daughter's a soccer player. I don't see it in college women's soccer. Like, there's no flopping in I don't see it. On the men's side, it's almost laughable. You have a lot of international players, a lot of international influence, but it's really bad. It's really bad. Professional Doors offering $40 off your service for preventative maintenance right now to celebrate 40 years in business, July 1st through July 31st. So do not hesitate. All you have to do is mention the show that you heard us talking about it, and you can schedule it for August, September, whatever, but you have to schedule it in July, not for July. 674-0008. Reach out to Travis if you have a garage door. I mean, you want the best people taking care of your door going forward. Bring those folks in. You'll never go anywhere else. All right? Be sure to reach out to them today. And presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports Entertainment. Thanks to Jonathan Sweet. It was great to have him on yesterday. He was terrific. Family Fencing, sponsor of our studios, 540-200-8294. Thanks to Jason Green and Mark Hunley, McClellan Chiropractic. Sponsor of our chat room, which is always popping. Best chiropractor in the business. If you're local here, 155 Walters Drive, make an appointment today. I'm going to go over there on Wednesday, and I'm going through the gauntlet. The River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. Give James a call at 540-381-8011. I think he's coming to the bash, by the way. Manufacturing home parts, windows. The BDST Fan Question of the Week brought to you by the attorney Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. National Bank, member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of me and this program. They are the absolute best. ReadySetFund.com, a series of text messages can help lead to success to your group financially. You can do it for a week. You can raise over $4,000. Just ask the Floyd County softball team, ReadySetFund.com. Sundown Electric, one of the best local businesses in the region. Reach out to them. 5-star ratings. High integrity, low cost. Yeah, that's why the Smith brothers, are continuing what their dad built so successfully in the NRB Super Bowl. 540-382-5525, where we're going to have our bash. Looking forward to that. Check out their specials this weekend. You've got Midnight Madness, the 4th of July. Why not spend it in a bowling alley? Nah, Buana, that was great. Great stuff. Mike Ashley has not joined us yet. Nate Wise is scheduled at 7:45. So, Mike, where are you? Mike may have overslept. I think Mike was enjoying some fourth stuff yesterday. Pretty sure that he was. There we go. There is Mike. He's entering the studio as we speak. What is going on, Mr.
I don't know. I've been on the computer so much, I'm bleary-eyed. I can't even see stuff in front of me anymore. I'm going to have to go see the eye doctor. This is terrible. What am I going to do if I can't see stuff, Rick? Jeez.
You'll see stuff. You'll figure it out. Because you're so used to
TV. Okay. That's how I've measured with my eye doctor for years. I said, look, I sit across the room, and if I can read the scroll on ESPN, I'm okay. Anyway, start like that. Hey, happy 4th of July weekend.
Happy 4th. Yeah, man. Happy 4th. And the 250 years, man. It's wild. That's a long time. That's a long time, isn't it?
I'm going to have more to say about that later.
That we're here.
But yes.
We're here.
Yeah. Nice hat.
I know. Thank you. That's my old school Bronco hat. I had the orange one on last night during Pop, so I switched it up today. Yeah. This is the one that lost 4 Super Bowls.
You got vertically striped socks on right now, too, with the old Bronco hat?
I don't have them on, but I have both pairs. I've got the yellow pair and the white pair, and I break them out sometimes. I do. I
have got over 100 hats here surrounding me. We showed that one time here, but
I know you have great hats.
I hate to pull them out and make all the others fall over, and so I thought maybe I would start wearing hats every day. And then I looked at myself in one. I said, nope. We'll just show off the chrome domus again.
No, you look great in hats. The thing about you look great in hats that I wish I did. Like, I've seen you in fedoras. You look great in an old school fedora, and then you look good in like the chapeau. You could be walking around France with a paintbrush and an easel, and you would just look great. I don't understand.
The fedora you refer to, I know. I broke it out for the Hall of Fame in 22. I wore it that night with a press pass in it. And actually that was a callback, because when I was a student at Radford, I found that hat in a Goodwill shop in Roanoke. And I used to wear it to parties on the weekends.
Look at Mike. You can pull that. I love that look. I see old movies, and it's like, man, I wish that would come back. That's
okay.
Cool.
Now here's the look. Think Superman show.
Correct.
From the 50s with those big, thick, double-breasted coats and stuff. Everybody's wearing something that looks way too big. That a look that the Talking Heads' David Byrne brought back later on, but if I could get the clothes like that were too big to wear all the time, so I looked a little thinner, that would be ideal. And the hats go with that. And of course, John F. Kennedy apparently ruined the whole hat thing for all us guys because he looked so good, just the hair, and that became a thing after that. And that's
became a trend,
cool.
didn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, you look before that. Of course, the thing I didn't like was I see the pictures of the guys sitting in suits at like a baseball game at the Polo Grounds or something, and all the men are in suits, and I'm like, how could you do that? Like a week like this, how could you possibly do
exactly?
That
And they're wearing the hat, the hat. You're like, wow, it's cool looking, but yeah, you're right. All right, what do we got in open mic, man, for the 250th anniversary? I know it's going to be good. I know that much.
Well, I don't know. I think I need to come on the show and maybe you've taken it to another level here, breaking down all these football stuff, and maybe I need to break down a press room food.
Yes, you do.
I was often unabated to the pizza buffet. Anyway, we can get back to that. That's Denny Van Pelt's favorite topic of mine, by the way. But I just wanted to start with I'm so old that I remember when being a GOAT was a bad thing. Now it's an acronym for the greatest of all time and thrown around an awful lot. It used to mean you were the reason your team lost, or more gently, you were a stubborn old man. I have advanced to the knockout round of stubborn old manness. But this week, us oldsters are having a moment. I mean, Serena Williams made a comeback at Wimbledon at age 44. Lionel Messi keeps putting the ball in the back of the net at the World Cup at age 39. LeBron James, who was an all-star at age 40, is now a coveted free agent at age 41. And that's just off the top of my head, where much sports knowledge and a lot of hair used to reside. Obviously, I root for old guys and gals. Makes me feel like there are things out there for me besides breaking a hip. I need to pick up the pace on my chair Tai Chi, I guess. Makes me feel, or lower the pace on my visits to restaurants and taverns and my couch for my nap. I was the cautionary tale, a once proud backyard and rec sports career sidetracked by adult beverages and pizza. I once had a press conference to announce my retirement to spend more time with my family-style buffets. I'm still in shape. It's just a whole different kind of shape, more like an orb or a globe. I'm donating my body to science fiction. All this age on my mind as America turns 250 years old tomorrow. And our birthday present was a berth in the round of 16 at the World Cup. Rarefied air for U.S. booters, and pretty exciting when you see how other older nations get all keyed up about the Cup. A rare, true World's Championship. 250 years does make us sound, I don't know, we're still kind of on our rookie contract compared to other countries on the international stage. We keep forgetting that. And yeah, we're experiencing some rough spots lately, but seeing all these soccer fans come to our shores and loving all things U.S., hot dogs, Buc-ee's, big gulps, double cheeseburgers, ranch dressing, public intoxication, can't help but make your buttons burst a little bit. Us old men, a lot responsible for some of the negatives nationally, us OG goats do actually know a few things, like about Nazis, sharks, old movie quotes, local weather girls, and we know history has a way of repeating itself. And that's good for us because we do have a great history. I hope you all celebrate with gusto this weekend, grill with impunity, laugh and love with friends and families, overeat, OD on Pepto-Bismol, celebrate like it's 1999, and it ain't over until that once fat lady now on a Ozempic sings. As the great American... Thank you. As the great American John Winger once said, our forefathers were kicked out of every decent country in the world. We are the wretched refuse. We're the underdogs. We're mutts. But there's no animal that's more faithful, that's more loyal than the mutt. Who saw Old Yeller? Who cried when Old Yeller got shot at the end? Nobody cried when Old Yeller got shot. I cried my eyes out. So we're all dog faces, and we're all different, but we're Americans. We've been kicking ass for 250 years. All we have to do is be the great American that's inside each of us. Now light that grill and make me proud.
I love it. A fat lady who is now on Ozempic. Oh my Lord!
Ozempic made me sick as a dog. Everybody I know is lost weight, is losing weight, is in great shape, and it just did not work for me. And because it was the side effects were much worse than just being the jolly fat guy.
It's causing a lot of health problems. It's not healthy. It's not in long term. It's not the way to go. But hey, whatever rose your boat. Whatever rose your boat.
I've decided to maintain the status quo here. I don't know. I am first team
how would you describe your status quo? What's the opposite of?
Let's see. Again, going back to college, I remember as I started to put on a little weight, a roommate of mine was a subscriber to Penthouse. Me, Sports Illustrated, to the Sporting News, but we also had Penthouse available in our room too.
Well,
and I took the psychograph. Remember those that fill out the back of the
magazine? I do. Yeah.
Off track here a little bit, but I remember the first girl I dated seriously in high school and out of high school. I was thinking, I'm reading sports every week. I read so much sports, I can tell you anything about any team. And you're reading Cosmopolitan, which has and Red Book, which has all this information of how to manipulate us and make us the guy you want. It's not fair. You guys have an instruction manual, and I'm not getting any of that anywhere. Anyway, the Penthouse psychograph, it rated me by my body and my mindset, and I came out as what they reduced now as I think it was an ectomorph, which later was like in Ghostbusters or something. No, not really. And then they said I was they labeled me a good-natured pudgy.
Good-natured pudgy?
Yes. So I kind of like that. So I don't lead with it in conversation, but
you can live with that. Yeah.
Yes, I can work with that. That's right. And that's the other thing. When you're a young guy on the dating scene and everything, and then you read this stuff, and every girl, like on the top 2-3 things they're looking for in a guy is a great sense of humor. I didn't really find that to be true.
So the next time you give me a heads up and you're coming to a Radford basketball game to sit with me, I'm going to get Greg Wolf to put Mike Ashley, quote, good-natured pudgy on your table.
I used to do that on the press cards for our regulars and my student workers.
So did Drew Dickerson. Yeah, Drew Dickerson would leave me. It was great. It was great.
Yeah, I had one kid who I'd heard killed it at a local karaoke singing the Pina Colada song, Rupert Holmes.
Holmes, yeah. Yes. Do you like Pina Coladas?
The rest of his career at Press Row, where he kept stats, his card read Rupert Holmes.
I love it. All right, brother. Well, listen, you take your own advice. Do all the things you just reminded us to do tomorrow and enjoy the celebration.
You mean stay inside in the air conditioning? Yes, I will be happy to do that. I will stress walking from the couch to the refrigerator. Are there any sports on tomorrow I can watch? What's going on?
I don't know. It used to be a celebration of baseball, but we don't get that much anymore. So,
Well, if I don't want to pay ESPN, how do I watch my teams? It's just but let's still go to that old man rant.
No, we won't. You're right. We have too much. We have too much negative stuff going on.
Yes, I'll say that for later. Anyway, hey, everybody have a great weekend. Goober says hey, of course, and I look forward to seeing everybody as soon as I can get down that way.
All right. Happy 4th, Goober. Take care of yourself.
See you guys.
Later, brother. Mike Ashley, ladies and gentlemen. Again, tell me I'm wrong. When Mike Ashley's around, you can't help but smile. That's a legacy. You never see Mike Ashley and not just immediately smile. That's a gift. Now, there's not too many people in my life I can say that about. But that gentleman makes you smile every time you see him. You could be having the worst day ever, and he'll surprise you sometimes and just show up in Radford, and you're like, there's Mike. And you just run over, it's just like, but anyway, great stuff. Coach Elmo, Mike Ashley. Rolling along. Keep them coming in chat. Chat's popping, by the way. Thanks again for the pop last night. That was awesome. We've had over 300 rewatches since it ended last night. We're getting there. Great stuff. I hope everybody has a great Fourth. Again, ignore the noise, the naysayers, the coverage that's going to be anti everything that this nation's about. Let's celebrate and don't allow any of that crap to infiltrate into what tomorrow means, what this weekend means. Because remember, those are the same people who don't understand they have the freedom to do that complain. Isn't it great? All right. Mike Ashley is the definition of a character. Mike Ashley is it's. I don't know if you can define Mike into one or two words. He's just incredible. All right, joining us now on the program here, our third and final guest is that gentleman. It's Nate Wise, who, wait a minute, you're not in Radford anymore. You're in Radford. Did something happen I don't know about?
I'm back. I can't stay away. I had to rep Radford this morning, but yeah, I'm excited to join you, Rick, and I'll be back in Radford next week. First time since spring of 2024. So it's been over 2 years. Can you believe that?
What are you coming in, Radford? It's going to be great to see you. You're going to come by, aren't you?
Yeah, so I'm repping Radford, but I'm also repping the VSGA, the Virginia State Golf Association. So that's where I'm working now. So some of you guys might remember me as an SID, following in Mike Ashley's footsteps at Radford, working with the athletics program. But I'm with the Virginia State Golf Association now, and we have a big junior stroke play championship coming up at Pete Dye River Course next week, the 7th through the 9th. So we've got some of the best boys high school players in the state coming to Radford. And so, yeah, it'll get me back in town and seeing everybody. So I'm excited.
Are you hooking up with Coach Beeler? You hooking up with Jeff?
I'm hoping so. I've talked to him a bit. I haven't talked to Coach Grant yet, but Grant's got a couple recruits that are going to be playing in the tournament. Isaiah Cantrell from Floyd and David Good from Withville are both playing. So they may be around. Hopefully I can see them, but I'll definitely catch up with Greg, who I know you mentioned with Mike, Mike's protege, Greg Wolf, and see if I can stop in the Devon Center and catch a few people while I'm in town.
Yeah. You better.
So. Are you going to be there?
Yeah, I'll be there next week.
Okay,
I'll be there. Yeah. I have to change my quarters, but that's okay. I don't really know. But, well, let's talk about how you left Radford. You got into what was it, a private entrepreneurship or what? And now here you are with the Virginia Golf Association.
Yeah. I was an SID for 10 years, and it's a fun life, but it's a crazy life. Not a lot of money in it, as Rick may be able to attest to. A lot of crazy hours, a lot of travel. And so when my wife and I, since I left Radford, I've gotten married, all kinds of stuff, but we moved to Richmond, Virginia. So that's where we're at now. And I actually worked for a nonprofit called SOAR 365 that was dedicated to all kinds of programs and services for people with disabilities. So started at pediatric therapy all the way up to employment services for adults with disabilities, all that stuff. And I did that for 2 years, which was a great experience. But this VSGA opportunity came knocking, and it was a perfect kind of mesh between my sports background and kind of that nonprofit history that I had, and ended up working out. So we're on 1 month now at VSGA, which is crazy to say. I feel like I just walked in the door the first time, but finishing up a month. But I've already gotten to do some travel. I was down in Virginia Beach at Bayville Country Club 2 weeks ago now for a big amateur championship we had down there, and so this will get me to Radford. So yeah, I'm back in the sports world, back talking with Virginia media and some of the best to do it, like Rick Watson. And
are you now starting to pick up your own personal golf game now? Are you dedicated to?
That is a question I get a lot now, and I have more motivation.
You're gonna get peer pressure, yeah.
The people in the office, there's some really good golfers. So the funny thing is, I had never picked up a golf club until college. I went to JMU. I had a roommate who loved golf, and he forced me out there. And it's a hard game. It's a hard game. And I didn't really take it too seriously until about a year ago, way before I knew this job was ever coming. And last summer, I was one of those people who sat down and watched the Masters for the year. And within 2 weeks, I was like, you know what? I'm in my 30s now. It's time to learn to golf. Let's try it. And I went out and got some clubs, and I've been trying to teach myself. And it's touch and go here, but I have more motivation than ever to try to actually get good at it. So we'll see.
Well, it's great too what you're doing with the VSGA. You get to meet so many young people, right? You get to stay in touch with all regions. I like the fact you're going to all corners of the state. That's kind of cool to see the development.
That's part of the
great programs. Yeah,
that's part of what's really special about it is I've always been focused on the New River Valley when I was at Radford, and then obviously the Richmond, Virginia, Central Virginia area with my last job. But this one I'm seeing people and traveling all throughout the state, and that can be Northern Virginia, and that can be all the way out to Southwest Virginia and beyond, all the way west in the state, and obviously, like I mentioned, down in Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads area. And so all that first tournament I went to, I already got to see Nick Tolliver and Patrick Garris and a bunch of former Radford men's golfers that I knew when I was there, which was great. But last week we had the Women's State Open of Virginia Independence, and Kennedy McCleary won that. She's a high schooler who's committed to Virginia Tech, and met her for the first time. So it doesn't matter what age group. I'm seeing them all over the place. There's some really great golfers, but of course golf isn't just for people who are really good, just like you and me. You need some more newbies. And we also have programs for adaptive golf, military initiatives. We do military appreciation dates on bases throughout the state of Virginia.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, which is really cool. We have obviously the junior golf circuit that's ages 6 through 18, doing clinics and competition and all kinds of different stuff for kind of the next generation. So I'm still learning about a lot of it and how it works, and meeting people new every single day. But yeah, we do a lot, and it's I think the game of golf, for me even too, can be kind of intimidating. But it's for everybody, and we have ways to make it more affordable for people to ease them into it. So one of the things that when I messaged you about coming on was actually July is Youth on Course month.
Oh, cool.
And Youth on Course makes it so any participating club in the state will charge just $5 for a junior golfer to go play, and then the VSGA covers the difference for the club. So that allows, families who, might be a little more expensive for them to get out. And it is really expensive for a lot of people, to allow their kids to go try out the game or work on their game for only $5 at a time.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's
yeah.
Because you hear people all the time say the reason they don't pick it up is because of the cost of it. They start doing research and like, I can't afford that, right?
For sure. Some of these places, we have almost 300 member clubs. Some are just your mom and pop that have been around for 100 years and they're still just running it, family business. Others are these big, massive country clubs and all kinds of crazy, nice places throughout the state. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's our role to kind of bring golf to everybody, and that includes making one, having access at all, and then two, trying to make that affordable and reasonable for everybody to try it out. So
Buana, now you're dealing with a lot of high school kids who are planning on going to college and so forth. Yeah. When you have you talked to, well, you're just getting started obviously, but you will talk to them. You're going to find out how hard it is to make that jump from being a really good high school player to playing at a high level in college.
Yeah, right? It's a good question. And when I was on the college side of things, working with Radford Golf, I got to work with JMU Golf back in the day. And it is a challenge. You have to be one of the best to get a scholarship and play, but it's harder on the men's side, honestly, than the women's side. There are actually, I've been told before that there are many girls and women scholarships out there that go unused every year in the game of golf. And it can be harder to, to convince women or to scout female players who may have what it takes to play at the collegiate level, and coaches are out there looking. But, at the end of the day, golf is a game that can be you can be evaluated by 3 numbers. What did you shoot in rounds 1, 2, and 3, and where did you finish? And so sometimes coaches are just looking at that leaderboard and scouting off the top of it. But one of the cool things that we do is when we hold these junior events, and even some of our bigger amateur events where high schoolers are playing in them, college coaches are invited out to come and scout and watch golfers play. So, the first step in that for anybody, whose friends, family, whatever are interested in that is to become a member of the VSGA. It's starts at like $60 a year. That gets you your automatic handicap index, which most people have heard of. Is basically just the number that qualifies how good you are and where you stand against everybody else. And then from there, you're able to sign up for all these events. And so, each event does have its fees to enter and things like that. But we also have a scholarship program for high school golfers to get money through. We sell a VIP card. Portions of that, go towards the scholarship fund, and we're able to make that a little bit easier for some high schoolers. But anyway, it's just a matter of working on your game, getting in front of coaches, and trying to prove that you're one of the better players. And so, like I mentioned, Isaiah and David are both Radford commits playing in the tournament this weekend. I'm sure Coach Grant saw them out there and, around the state and decided they were good enough to play at the D1 level. So there's ways to do it.
Well, and here, as you know, here in Southwest Virginia, New River Valley, we have some terrific golf programs. Blacksburg High 100%. School is a dynasty. They're sending all sorts of kids to the high D1s. I mean, it's just producers. We have a lot of other schools that have really picked it up. So I'm glad to see that, because in golf, we need more American influence, I think, to get on the tour. Me anyway, we don't have a Tiger Woods, Scotty Scheffler. We need more guys like that, and gals, like you're saying. So it's good to hear something. And I found out from our coaches, it is an opportunity for a lot of these kids. They can get a pay-for-play NIL deal for golf. So these programs in college can raise enough money because of the kind of families that are involved in golf to have money to say, hey, you can come be here and earn your money that way and play for us. So
100%. I mean, we talk about NIL and the whole conversation of how that's transformed college athletics. I have no doubt you've touched on many times, Rick, but NIL isn't just for football, basketball.
Too much so.
Yeah, trust me. I know. But it's not just for football, basketball. There's money to go around in the game of golf as well, as you would imagine. And there are collegiate players earning NIL deals. I remember when Bryce Corbett was at Radford and he made the NCAA regionals. He was right at the beginning of what NIL was starting to come about. And I remember having a meeting with him about, what opportunities are there out there now. Back then when it started, it was supposed to be, you can go out and sign a sponsorship deal, do a commercial for the local, car dealership and make some money that way. But things have changed a bit now, for sure. But that totally exists. And in terms of, growing, great American golfers, you're right. We come around to the Ryder Cup every few years and we're competing directly against the best Europe have to offer. And there's a lot of pride and competition in that. And Southwest Virginia, just like any other part of the state, is producing. I was just this week, I don't know how many of your viewers are aware that YouTube golf is a big thing now. There's tons and tons of big creators on YouTube showing their golf game. And there's one from Gate City that's pretty popular named Chance Taylor. So anybody out there should check out Chance Taylor. You'll know he's from Southwest Virginia as soon as you hear him talk. He's got the accent and the look, but he's a great dude and a great golfer. And he's showing that great golfers can come out of anywhere, as you would expect. And there's great clubs around here too. So there's no reason not to check them out.
Well, that's cool. That's good to hear. Yeah, you're right. It is something about golf instructional videos. I hear a lot of folks saying when they're trying to get out and learn, that's what they're doing. They're just saying, look, I'm making notes. Yeah, you find somebody who does it right, and they can make a pretty good penny doing it too. So make your lessons available for everybody instead of just bringing people to the golf course.
Exactly. 100%. Yeah. We have people dedicated to membership and all that going out. So I'm just looking forward to getting to learn all this stuff and be back in Radford and bring bring the game of golf back to where I spent 5 years of my life. So it's going to be fun and seeing you, Rick, for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to see. Yeah, and besides the Radford connection, of course, Nate's been with me before on the show, not the video version, but the The radio version is our baseball
Yeah.
guy, and I'm so disgusted with baseball in every way, shape, and form. I can't even. Jorge Posada, his comments resonated, man. It's still echoing what he said last week about the game, and people agree. It's not what it's supposed to be, is it? It's just.
Yeah, baseball. For one, I was worried you were going to ask me about the Orioles because when I came on,
we're staying away from our two teams.
We do a lot of Orioles talk, and them specifically is what's disgusting me right now because this season again has not been what I expected. But yeah, the game of baseball, it's America's pastime for a reason, and I think that we have certainly gotten away from a lot of our focus on. Celebrating the game. I caught a little bit at the end of your conversation with Mike, and there's no better weekend to highlight the game.
I know.
The 4th of July weekend. I still think there's a lot of great baseball out there, but just the way the game is played in terms of boom or bust and analytics only makes it hard. I mean, you look at what my Orioles are doing, and you have all these top high end prospects coming up, and you expect big things, but the way that they're playing the game, it doesn't lead to results. It doesn't lead to exciting baseball. It doesn't, and so it is hard to watch. I'm watching less and less of it right now, even though I obviously love the game of baseball. And so I think there's a route back, and hopefully, like all things with a pendulum, it swings back the other way,
So.
But yeah, it's been a tough season, and we'll see where it goes from here.
I want to see what it looks like after it, because I don't think we're going to have a season next year because of this whole. They're going to force the cap, and they're going to force the floor, and we'll see if it can recover like it did. It had to recover in 1994 when they canceled the World Series. So
right.
I don't know. We'll see.
Thanks, Doctor.
Well, congratulations, man. The VSGA's gain is tremendous with you coming on board. I'm glad to see you. Sounds like you're settling in pretty nicely. It's good stuff.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been great. Check it out online. I know this is a big plug for me in the VSGA, but it is, really exciting. There's a lot of awesome stuff we're doing, and we're excited to continue to be around the state with the game of golf. Giving our amateurs a way to experience the game, and I'm excited to be a part of it. So I appreciate it, Rick.
Well, good to see you, and I can't wait to see you next week, man.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Talk to you later.
All right, brother. Good to see you. Thanks, man. There you go. Nate Wise, good to catch up with Nate. Terrific guy. Did a great job at Radford, and he's going to do a great job for the VSGA. And it's good to hear about so much encouraging development with golf here, high school golf. We have some terrific golfers, and that just seems like a natural step for Nate. Again, he's the Director of Marketing and Communications for the Virginia State Golf Association. We'll have him on again. We'll talk more about all things like golf. Good stuff. Yeah, Buana, baseball's in trouble. I saw your Rockies comment. I'm a Padres lifer, so I'm with you. They fell to 500 last night, blowing a 6-0 lead and getting destroyed by the Dodgers. Yay! All right, so I'm going to get into this next topic, and it's going to be difficult to get into. So hopefully I can get through it. Anybody who followed this program through the radio days, if you remember, I don't know, it was probably early 2000s when DeMick, does everybody remember DeMick? New York Yankees fan. He is your complete stereotypical New York baseball guy. I mean, when he was a young man, he actually worked with the mafia. He broke legs. He was one of those guys. He talks about it. He grew up in that era. Great family. He was a pastor. He was actually the pastor who oversaw my first marriage, not to bring up bad memories, but he was. And his wife, they moved out of the area a few years ago. His youngest son, Matt McHugh, was a terrific baseball player at Radford. He's been coaching baseball since at different levels, small colleges. And Peggy McHugh, his name was Tom McHugh, DeMick, apparently has developed vascular dementia. And Peggy put a post up yesterday, and it was so strange because earlier this week, and I had no knowledge of this, I started thinking, and it kind of gives you chills because I was thinking earlier this week, I said, I need to reach out to the Mick. I haven't heard from him since, it's been a couple of years. And sure enough, in Peggy, his wife's post, and I know she wouldn't mind me bringing this up as a request for prayer for the McHugh family. And this is her post, her words. The last 8 months, this is after she said that the Mick has been diagnosed with vascular dementia. She says the last 8 months has proven to be some of the most challenging I've ever faced in my life. Tom McHugh, the Mick, has deteriorated quickly, and the Lord made it evident it was no longer safe for either him or me to keep him at the home. So just 3 weeks ago, he was moved to a memory care facility, and apparently his condition has deteriorated quickly. And she says, we completely trust in God's sovereignty over the whole situation. She said it's been harder than she ever imagined, and she just asking people for their prayers. Please keep Peggy McHugh in your prayers and your thoughts. This was tough to learn. I did not find out until yesterday evening, and his son Matthew put it up on Facebook as well. But if anybody remembers the Mick, he guest hosted for me a lot. He filled in, and he was a natural, and he did a great job interacting with people, and he brought a character, the Mick, to the show that was really appreciated, and people would always ask, even now, you bringing the Mick back to the YouTube show? And I had no idea that this was happening in their lives, and they've been dealing with it for several years. So I wanted to bring that up. If you're someone who believes in the power of prayer and things like that, please keep Peggy McHugh in your thoughts. It doesn't sound like he's going to be with us much longer. And he contributed a lot, not only to me in the show, but he was a friend. And he was somebody that always made you smile, he was terrific with baseball history. I mean, he could talk about it. And you talk about a diehard Yankees fan. I mean, it was nothing more that he loved outside of his family and God than the New York Yankees. So I just wanted to pass that along for anybody who remembers him, from the radio days as we head into this 4th of July weekend. I try to say this all the time. We get caught up in our own stuff, and you never know what somebody is dealing with. And a lot of times we just assume that everybody's got an agenda to be rude or be mean, and you never know. You absolutely never know. And so I try to make a point now. I think you do become a little wiser as you get a little older, and you do something. You kind of just want to look at people. And I've noticed it makes a big, you just look at somebody, if you're out on a walk, if you're going to a store, no matter what you're doing, you just kind of look up and smile. They immediately smile. It just changes the whole reflection of their face, right? Just be nice, be kind. It's not a hard thing to do. It does make a world of difference. It makes a world of difference in my life when somebody just reaches out and they're nice about whatever it might be. And because you never know what somebody's got. Everybody's got their stuff. Everybody, me, you, anybody out there. So, anyway, yeah, Buana. Doesn't sound like they're going to be able to slow it down. Yeah, just the way she worded that since he got to the facility, he's deteriorated quickly, but at least he's in the place he needs to be. Dementia is there's nothing you can do about it. And, it's just, you hear about it more and more and more and more too. You really do. But I wish, if you didn't get a chance to meet him and to hear his character, I wish there was a way I could go back and play. He had some really good really good stuff about baseball and the Yankees. And yeah, sad news. And I'm not trying to be a downer, but I wanted to pass that along because he is such a large legacy here on the show. And that was difficult news to read yesterday. And it was just so strange. I had just thought about reaching out to him, sending him a message. It is getting to younger people. It is. Younger people seem to be experiencing this in their 40s, 30s. I mean, it's happening. Bruce Willis is going through it right now. He doesn't recognize anybody. He's at peace, but it's very sad. It's very, very, very sad, to say the least. Anyway, we are heading into the 4th of July weekend. 250 years of freedom, man. Sports has been such a large part of this country, really, from its onset. Baseball in particular. And when I think about the 4th of July, I don't think about I don't really think about football. For one, it's the one sport, it's the one holiday we have that I think baseball. Baseball is, well, that and the hot dog eating contest. But baseball and the 4th of July has always been kind of the point where you look at the standings and things like that. The trading deadline comes at the end of the month of July. And it's also a sorry state on the affairs of the game that where it's not going to be highlighted. I mean, I don't know if you can even watch a national game tomorrow. Like Mike said, it's all the regional stuff, but yeah, fireworks at the game, a hot dog, you get your beer, right? Go to a ball game here locally. Now you can go to the minor leagues, you can go up River Turtles and things like that. That's always a great vibe. Go to a minor league ballpark if nothing else. So I don't know. Baseball's still that sport. And I know it's not our national pastime. Football passed that a long time ago. But it'd be nice to see it make a comeback. Maybe it will in 2028 when they start playing baseball again after the World Series this year. Right? Watching more posts about the World Cup and what we talked about. And this is it. And no matter how you try to defend it, and I've had soccer people have reached out to me. I hear from them on the messages and especially the text line. Like, again, I talk about your sport. We're talking about your sport because this is how we observe it. You love it. Okay. It's not that we don't understand it. It's not that we don't want to accept it, but there are things about it that don't appeal to the average American sports fan. It's just a fact. We are a country that wants high-scoring games. We want to see action. We want to see things contribute into a result, and this whole thing. And I'm just looking at it right now. We've just been talking about it, and I have just found in the span of 2 minutes over 20 posts showing the videos of the guys flopping, and they're just like, is this, and people who don't know a whole lot about it, is this what goes on? Is this what we're doing in soccer? It's disgusting. It's not showmanship. It shouldn't be part of the game. I know it's what I always hear. It's just part of the game. It's just part of the attrition. You have to accept it. No, you don't. That's why, see, that kind of surrender attitude. Let's just accept it. You can't do anything about it. No, you change it. You take it out of the game. If you cared about it, you take it out of the game. And Americans they don't want to see it. They don't want to see it on the basketball court. They don't want to see it in their soccer. And the one that's being highlighted was against USA's best player. And then the guy who bumped into is on the ground. He's holding his leg like he's been shot. He's screaming. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. And this is not going to appeal to Americans sporting fan base. It's just not going to do it. And the NBA is following suit. But I'm just talking about on the average. Do I appreciate what it takes to be good at soccer? Absolutely. Do I see amazing things even in college soccer? You better believe it. Conditioning is unreal. But there's a lot about the game that's never going to ultimately appeal to the centralism of American fanship. The attorney Ryan Price says, I'm definitely a soccer guy. I agree about the flopping. It's a yellow card for faking. Now that called simulation, the yellow card for faking. I mean, how do they even yellow card? Oh, okay, you're out for a little bit. You get one more, you're out. Then they just won't do it again. Yeah, I've only seen one given out in the World Cup. Yeah, exactly. There's the problem. There's the problem. They don't do anything to stop it. That's what I was saying earlier about gambling in college athletics. Once you put that part of the NIL deal, and then maybe you'll be able to get a harness on it, and it might stop. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, if you get caught doing any of this, if you get investigated, you are forfeiting your contract, your dollars. Oh. Wanda says, Wanda's been awesome, by the way. I still think U.S. fans need to understand that we could be a top soccer country if the sport was popular. It just doesn't have that appeal to many kids. Yeah. That's fair. I think youth soccer has definitely growth of youth soccer has increased tremendously in this country. There's no doubt. Younger people becoming parents, their generation, they may have played soccer. So it's starting to filter through. It is. And maybe the U.S. continues to develop along that path. I don't know. But in this country, kids are playing two sports. They're playing football and basketball. Baseball, I mean, you play for a certain age group, you play baseball. But then a lot of counties here, even locally, they don't even have rec leagues. Kids go graduate from certain leagues and they go right into travel balls. Talking to our deputy AD about it, he has a son that's playing. Ryan probably agrees. But our best athletes are never going to play soccer. You know, there'll be some great athletes that will do it. Sure. Absolutely. There's always going to be anomalies. But, and I don't know what kind of money opportunities are out there for collegiate soccer players. The majority of collegiate soccer players, and I do mean the majority, are coming from the international seas. I mean, you look at the Radford roster coming up. I mean, it's just the way it's flowing. They have to stock their rosters with so many international players. High Point's roster last year, they won the championship, was 60-some% international. So that indicates to me that the development programs aren't progressing the way you would want if you want to start seeing soccer get a better foothold into this country, right? If you're having to continue to import so many young players, and I know they're a little cheaper, and it helps with a lot of schools' admissions policies and so forth. So I understand it goes hand in hand, but the World Cup is here. It's not going to be here very often. And yes, it has found a following. It is getting great response, but also people are being reminded as to why in their minds, and even in my mind, why soccer has never been that thing. There's a lot I like about it, a whole lot I like about it. I love the passion of the fans. I love the big, beautiful green grass fields that, they imported. We've been over it ad nauseum. They won't play on turf. They listen to their athletes, something that our professional leagues don't do. And I'm pulling like heck for the U.S. I hope they can handle. I hope somehow they can survive this terrible call that went against Freeman for Belgium, and I hope they can continue to go. That would go a long way here in this country if Team USA could pull this thing off on its own soil. Have a good day, wifey. Nice hair. Sorry, the wife head down. Anyway, the wife heading out. What? Am I going to wake up like Patrick Duffy? You know when they killed off Patrick Duffy and they did the season without him, and then they woke up and Pam had a dream. It was Pam who woke up and Patrick Duffy was in the shower. Is that what this is going to be like? But if Team USA has success and they win this thing or even make it to the knockout round, then watch out. Watch out. Well, Washington's has had grass, but yeah, these stadiums, it's gotten the notice of the NFL players, Buana. Yeah, they bring it in the grass. A lot of it's being flown in because there's a specific type of surface they demand to play on. And so these NFL owners and saying, yeah, do it. And then they go right back to the stuff that's getting people or helping. It's helping to contribute to the injuries of the NFL. I won't say it's the only thing, but it's one of the things. And now the players are now taking notice. And they did a polling. We talked about this last month. It's like 78% of the players all want to go back to grass. And so that's a pretty high majority. So I think it's going to come up in the next negotiation. The NFL can shut the hell up about costs. I don't want to hear it. They're well on their way eventually. I think I saw in 5 years they're going to be $1 trillion industry. So don't start telling me about cost. I don't want to hear it, Roger Goodell. I don't want to hear it, any of you owners who are already all billionaires. Just shut the hell up. Bring back grass. It's better for the players, first and foremost. It's better for the fans. We want to see our teams. Ryan Pry, you want to see that eagle green. You want to see those white pants. Used to be the off gray pants, which looked a lot better, by the way, with grass stains on them. Let's get some dirt stains in the face mask again when we grew up and played the game. Let's stop making it the plastic rules of the game. Let's stop representing that by playing on these plastic black pebble fields. Stupid. Look, I understand baseball. I understand colleges and high schools trying to save money. I don't like it, but I get it. I get it. But I sure don't understand or get what goes on in the NFL and their thought process, or even, I'm going to say it, even college football. You could figure it out. You could figure it out. Yeah, I think there are a lot of players, Buana, that feel like it's costing them injuries. Yeah, and think about our Broncos. It's amazing. So the Broncos, of all the owners, have the richest owner in the league, the Walton family. Their billions are worth a lot more than anybody else's billions. And every year, halfway in the season, when the field starts getting torn up, they put in a brand new grass field. Costs a lot, sure, but it's what the players want. It keeps them safe. Safer, I should say. Low Country, you have a great 4th of July weekend. And it's been great to get to meet you here over the last couple of weeks. You stay safe. Have a great time. So the Broncos put in a brand new grass surface as you get into the colder weather. They've done this now for the last, 3 years, I think? And then when they, when you talk to Greg Penner, who's running the team, he says it's a no-brainer. We don't even think about it. They asked, we looked at the field. Mr. Walton said, of course we will do that for the players. Wow, what a concept. And then the opposing teams that come in say they get there and it's like you're starting the season. They love it. So the Broncos will get through over halfway the season. We'll get into, when is it, Buana? Is it late October, early November? They'll tear out the old torn up grass and they will put in brand new grass, just like the start of the season. And everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. And that's why, even though you had the massive snowstorm in the AFC Championship game, that's why the players, even the Patriots players, are saying they felt like the field held up because the grass was relatively new. What a concept. But I do love that about soccer. So go Team USA on Monday. I mean, I'm going to watch. I'm pulling for them. Love it. Lincoln Financial's natural grass. But before the Eagles got there, yeah, exactly. The worst turf ever. Between Veterans Stadium, Ryan, Riverfront Stadium, and Three Rivers. What was it about Pennsylvania football, Pittsburgh and Philly? You had that cement painted green turf. What were they doing? Yeah, that warming system is awesome, Juana. Yeah, it's something else they've been innovated. Yep. They couldn't keep up, though, during the AFC title game. That was a blizzard. God wins. You can try to counter it, but I think you're going to start seeing that push, and you're going to see these teams start to. And I don't understand why the owners wouldn't want it. The players are your investment. You're making an investment into the field. Okay. Well, if it's what your players, your employees, the ones that are making you more billions every year, if that's what they want to play on and you want to try to protect them, then why wouldn't you do that? It's kind of like the episode of Seinfeld where George wanted the players to wear cotton uniforms because they were more comfortable, not realizing that when they would get washed and they would sweat, they would shrink. That's a great episode. Buck Showalter, who was the manager of the Yankees at the time, was terrific. You may have something there, George. Oh, I've got something. All right, we had a great week here on the program. Thanks to everybody. Yeah, Boada, you know what I'm talking about. Boada, come on back. Thank you. I hope you have a great 4th of July weekend. Thanks to all the great sponsors, which we've talked about. Don't forget, reach out to Professional Door if you're locally up in Dublin, 674-0008. $40 off your service. Just mention you heard us talking about it. Get your garage door checked just for maintenance, preemptive maintenance, preventative maintenance. We'll be back on Monday, Buana. Same time here, Eastern, 6 to 8:30. Ryan Price says on the field at the Vet one time, there were literal holes where the surface would sink 6 inches around the baseball bases. I believe it. But everybody take care. Happy birthday, America. We love you, lady. And we'll see you on Monday. Thanks again, everybody. Take care.